So our new studio benchmarking machine is nearly ready. We've pretty much built the whole system, but we have a small problem. Now, it's not necessarily a problem with the build itself, but it's a problem with the way that they kind of design these cases. Now, the reason that we chose this case was because it had the built-in vertical mount so that you could see the graphics cards that we are benchmarking. Now, just like some other cases that we've had in the past, like AeroCool cases, when you actually mount a GPU into that slot and the PCIe extension just hangs there, you get a lot of wobble off of the actual graphics card itself. And you also get quite a bit of sag when you've got a heavy graphics card on there. Now, we solved this in the past with some cheaper AeroCool cases, and today we're going to have a look at how we can do it for this one too. Fortunately, in our studio, we have access to a 3D printer, and that is exactly how we solved this in the past with those cheaper AeroCool cases. What we did is we designed a small bracket that the PCI Express extension would actually mount to, and it would lift it off of the bottom of the case. But we had a bit of an issue with trying to use that in this system, and that's because the case is a different size. What we had to do was we had to make something different. So we jumped into our 3D modeling app and we reduced all the sizes for that. Now, if you're going to do this, you need to understand a bit about the sizing. On this case in particular, which is the H500i, the distance from the bottom of the basement to the bottom of the PCI Express is about 18 mil, whereas on the AeroCool, it was actually a lot more. It was about 25 mil. So that's exactly what we did. We took the original design that we used and we reduced it in the app. We then sent it to the 3D printer, and after a long time waiting, because it does take a long time to actually 3D print things, we ended up with this. Now, this is exactly the same bracket as before, but it's a lot smaller, and it will actually fit into this case and it will give the graphics card something to sit on. So we'll just nip this graphics card out and we'll demonstrate how that works. Now that we have the graphics card and the extension out, as you can see, it simply just goes onto the top of that and it will just mount down with using screws straight down onto the bracket. Now, the screws that we used for this, because we actually made the bracket ourselves, are just standard case screws, which you can pick up from anywhere. And to be honest, most people have got a box of them somewhere anyway. They're the same ones that you use to put power supplies in and stuff like that. But you can use any screw that you want. And we simply just created a little hole in our 3D printed design. And because it's PLA, it's very soft. You can actually screw and thread straight into it. We just put 4 screws into each corner and it held it down really, really well. Now that we've got the bracket made, we can obviously see it's pretty strong, it's pretty well on there, and we can reinsert the PCI Express cable back into the motherboard. Just like that. Now, as you can see, it's not actually stuck down. We're not going to stick this down at all. All it is to do is to take the weight off of the actual back of the graphics card when inserted into the machine, and it'll also stop it from wobbling around inside the case when we lift it and move it around. Now, you don't generally tend to move your systems around, so most people probably won't have this problem, but we do keep lifting and shifting this machine because it obviously goes through photos and also onto the benchmarking desk where we do the benchmarking. But if we insert the graphics card now, just pop it into the back, we'll insert a screw, and we actually replaced our screws on this case with thumb screws because of it going in and out so much. We will see that the new bracket will sit down inside the case onto the bottom piece, and suddenly it reduces all the weight off the back because it's actually just distributing it across the basement of the case now, and also you've got less wobble on the graphics card itself. Now, if you were to stick a little bit of a sticky pad or a rubber pad on the bottom, which we might do going forward, obviously you'll reduce all of the wobble because it won't be able to move anywhere then. And that's how we solved this problem. If you've got any questions about this kind of thing, make sure you join our Discord server, and we have a big community in there that can help you do lots of different things. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see things like this going forward. Don't forget to give us a like on this video as well, and we'll catch you in the next one.